Okay, the lighting is really good right here. This is a nice little setup. But hey, y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen. If you are new here, I'm excited that you're here. This is a new series that I wanted to do, but if it's your first time tuning in, like I said, welcome. My name is Kristen. I'm the CEO and founder of SCV Luxury Styling, Project Style University, and Black Women Who Style. So everything regarding style and fashion, your girl was a part of. I wanted to do this series because I just felt like I wanted to do like a little chit chat, sit down video that the girls do, but a little different. So I wanted to call this series the Faith Talk series and just talk about everything that I've been going through and everything that I have planned. It's July 1st, 2025. It's storming outside. So I figured I'd just quickly sit down and just chat with y'all about how June went and how I want July to go. So this series, I don't know how often I'll do this series. If you've been following me or if you've been subscribed, then you know that I was doing a testimonial like vlog type of thing. And those were great. I did that all of 2024, but that was a lot. I don't want these videos to be that long. These are just real quick, straight to the point, no more than like 20 minutes, if that long. So I just really wanted to spend some time. Oh, y'all hear my stomach growling? I just ate, so I don't even know why it would be growling. But anyway, I just really felt like I wanted to spend some time recapping June since it's July 1st. And I also finished up a fast, a 40-day fast. Well, technically not a full 40 days. I need to actually see how long I fasted for more specifically, because the group, my prayer group that I fasted with, they fasted for 40 days, but I started a little late. So I started on the 27th of May. They literally started May 22nd. So my prayer group started a 40-day fast on May 22nd. May 22nd of this year, I was on my way to Tulum for Anisha's wedding. So I already knew that I wasn't going to partake in the fasting until I got back. So I officially started that Tuesday because we came back on the 26th, which was Memorial Day, and I started on the 27th, which was day 5. So essentially, I fasted for 35 days. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about how that went towards the end of this video. But anyway, let me pull up my notes to make sure I don't miss anything and to make sure I don't talk too much. But a lot happened in June. A lot of great things happened in June. And I definitely wanted to make sure that I highlighted everything. And hopefully I'll pop some videos in here to just give you all a quick recap of how it all went, or pictures. But mid-June, I want to say it was June 16th, the Stylist Rant podcast had its first live podcast episode recording. So last year, I started the Stylist Rant podcast with my friend Jess, who is not local to Baltimore. She's actually from North Carolina and lives in Virginia. And we maybe did about 3 to 4 episodes, I want to say, via Zoom. And this was last year. And it's funny because we had started around this time last year. I think we recorded like episode 2 last July 4th. But she ended up not having the capacity to continue being on the podcast with me because she had another baby, y'all. So congrats to Jess. Hopefully she's doing good. So I ended up asking Tone, my style girl, my friend, for a very long time, to join me with the podcast, to join me and like be a part of the Stylist Rant podcast. So we picked up and started and basically finished out season 1 of the Stylist Rant podcast on Zoom. So we were doing Zoom episodes, y'all. Although we're both local to Baltimore, we just didn't really have a place to do it. So at the beginning of the year, we talked about having a physical location, and it just so happened that I want to say towards the end of last year, she started working at a studio. So Digital Factory, we both actually know the owners, and she started managing Digital Factory. So we actually worked with one of the photographers, well, two of the photographers now, but one of the photographers and videographers. He is our podcast videographer, and we're working with him. And we recorded our first episode of season 2 in February. So since then, we've been recording in studio episodes. And now that we had a space, we figured we have a live podcast recording episode. So we actually interviewed our friend Shannon. She is the founder of B. Marie Accessories. We actually have the same last name. And we're not related, I don't think. But it was really, really cool, a really fun experience. My first time doing an in-person live recording. So we had an audience, we had food, we had drinks, we did a photo shoot in the beginning for our brand. So I'm super excited to see those photos. I'm going to try and pop in some behind the scenes videos of that too. So for that, we did denim on denim. And then for our actual episode, we wore black. So a really cute experience. We just interviewed Shannon, asked her questions about her brand, her business, her journey, entrepreneurship, style, fashion, all the things. So our videographer actually sent over the episode last week. So I'm working on editing it now. And yeah, I got to get that done. But anyway, that was a fun experience. Moving on to that weekend, I actually drove to Virginia, which I probably won't ever do again. But my friend Jasmine, she is from Virginia and she lives in Virginia Beach. So she had just moved into a new apartment the end of last year. So we all came together to visit her and also just catch up with friends. So Jasmine is my college friend. She lives in Virginia. Kanisha came down. She lives in New Jersey. Chastity came down. She lives in New York. And then my other friend, Kanisha, I have two friends named Kanisha. They spell it completely different. She actually didn't come. She has a daughter, so she's a mom. So she couldn't really set aside time to come visit with us. But she lives in Baltimore, and hopefully we'll be able to spend time with her later in the year when we go to our friend's wedding. But other than that, that was a good time. We tried to catch up with everybody at least once a quarter, and we've been being consistent this year. So we went to Virginia to stay with Jasmine. She lives in a really, really nice apartment, and we went to the beach. We went to the pool. We laughed. We kikied. Okay, that was my loud work computer. We laughed, we kikied. We also went to a day party, which was really, really fun. And yeah, always love spending time with them. We were only down there. I was actually going to come on Thursday, which was Juneteenth, but I ended up coming the day before because Juneteenth, I actually had a speaking engagement. So that's the next thing on my list of things that happened. So Coffee with the Creatives happened on Juneteenth. And it's so funny because I haven't actually really celebrated Juneteenth officially yet. Every time, like the past couple of years, every time it's Juneteenth, I'm doing something, whether I'm literally traveling. Last year, I was on my way to St. Louis. This year, I was in Virginia. I wasn't traveling, but I wasn't home. So I missed a lot of like the fun get together type of things, but we still had fun. We ended up going to the pool, and then I did Coffee with Creatives that morning. So Coffee with the Creatives is basically a monthly Zoom segment that the Maryland Women Creative Alliance organization puts together, and it gives people the opportunity to ask questions to an expert. So whoever that expert is, whoever that creative is, it's an intimate Zoom call where they basically ask us questions about our journey, about what we do, and all the things. So because I'm on the board of the Monument Women's Creative Alliance, it's such a long name, that's who they choose for the Coffee with the Creative. So it's something that we just started this year. So it's not like it's something like they've been doing for years. So they actually sent out not a poll, but I guess like a questionnaire to see who was interested in being a Coffee with the Creative and what date. So when I saw Juneteenth, I'm like, well, I ain't about to let a white person have Juneteenth. Let me be the one to be, celebrated and highlighted on Juneteenth. And I'm so glad that I did that, because it would have been weird doing a white person on Juneteenth. I'm not going to lie. It would have been a little weird. So I'm glad I chose that date. It worked out perfectly. I ended up doing the segment in my friend's apartment. And they were, well, I don't know if they were all listening in, but Jasmine was listening in. She's like, you did a real good job. I'm like, yeah, y'all don't be hearing me when I be doing my thing, when I be doing my business stuff, like, cause we all live in different cities. So they don't know what I do, like how my day to day looks like and how I talk to people when I'm, talking business and all of that. So, and those are my college friends, by the way, if I didn't mention. So I've known them I met them when I was 17. I'm now 31. So y'all do the math. So yeah, we literally have grown up together, kind of, sort of. So it's a lot that, they haven't seen as far as like the business side of me. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to do that, and I'm glad I was still able to do it there. That was the main reason why I ended up coming down to Virginia on Wednesday, the 18th, because I knew I had coffee with the creative on the 19th, and I wanted to be settled. I was going to leave on the 19th, like I said, but I knew that I was going to get caught up in all the Juneteenth stuff, and I knew I probably wouldn't have left to make my way to Virginia until later. And I'm just glad I did it the way that I did it, because I would have been mad. Y'all, it literally took me like 5 hours to get to her house, and honestly, longer than that. And it was a lot. It was a lot. But anyway, that happened, visited my friends, came back on that Sunday. It took me forever to get home. And I was tired. I was tired that Sunday. I was tired that Monday. Thank God I was off of work. And I didn't really do anything that week. But that Monday I got back. I was out running errands because I was out from work. And I was going to the grocery store and things like that. And then I just felt led to call the apartment complex that I had applied to. So I had applied back in February, and the type of complex or the type of apartment that I applied for, you have to be put on the waiting list. So at the time, I want to say I was like number 9 on the 1-bedroom on the waiting list, and number like 19 for the 2-bedroom on the waiting list. Whatever. So I figured, they said 6 months to a year. So I was okay with waiting. So Monday I actually called because I wanted to see where I was on the list. I wanted to get an update. And the woman who answered the phone, she was like, oh, well, you're actually number 2 on the list, but the person who was number 1 has decided to move forward with the apartment. So you're technically number 1. I'm like, what? I was not expecting that. So because it had been so many days, I had to reapply. So she ended up sending me the official email letting me know that I was number 1 on the list. She also attached the application. So I printed the application out, reapplied. I had got some help from my sister because she works in that industry of housing. And I just wanted to make sure that I was putting on there everything that I needed to put on there to make sure that, I was approved and qualified. So I ended up finishing that. So that happened Monday, printed out the application on Tuesday, filled it out on Wednesday, and it was a long application, and submitted it on Thursday. And that was last Thursday, which was the 26th. So last Thursday I had submitted my application. She showed me the apartment because she said, well, we do have an apartment that's available. So I said, okay, show me what's available. Small as I don't know what. I said, this is not big enough. This is not the apartment that y'all showed me when I initially came to tour in February or January, whatever. She's like, oh my gosh, well, what apartment did they show you? I want to make sure that they showed you what exactly was, is on the list of what's available. So I explained to her what it was, and she was like, oh, okay. So she showed me that one, the original one that I saw. I said, yes, this is 10 times better. And I'm trying to make sure I say the right thing and not talk negative. I feel like I have told a couple of people that story, and majority of the people are happy for me and yeah, da da da. And then a couple of people are like, well, it's your first apartment. And I'm like, You don't know my story. You don't know my life. Literally, I have been waiting and trying to move out on my own for almost 10 years, y'all. 10 years. Since I graduated from college in December of 2015, I have been trying, attempting, talking about moving out, but it never just seemed like the right time. Whether I was just losing a job or transitioning into another job or didn't have a job at all or whatever, it just didn't seem like the right time. So when people say to me like, oh, it's your first apartment, I just look at them like, you don't know how long I've been waiting to move. I'm not settling for anything just because it's my first apartment. I'm not moving into a box just because it's my first apartment. I'm not just doing anything just because it's my first apartment. God knows that I've been waiting for this apartment for almost 10 years, and I know that He did that on purpose. It's been a part of His plan. He wants me to know that it's been Him the entire time, and He's been, just making sure that when I do move and where I move, it will be, in my eyes, perfect. Although nothing is perfect, but it will be perfect for me. And He knows He's going to get all the glory. I literally keep telling people, when I move out, I only plan on living on my own for a year. Now we'll see. God's plan may be different from mine. But because me and my boyfriend have literally been dating for as long as I've been looking for an apartment or trying to move out, I only plan on living on my own for a year and then getting engaged, and we're moving in together. So we're either going to purchase a home or we're going to get another apartment, some type of condo, something. So yes, it's my first apartment, but it's also my first and last apartment. So whatever it is that I move into, whenever I move into the apartment that I've been looking at and looking for, is going to be nice. It's not going to be rinky dink. It's not going to be like, no, just okay, it's whatever. Like, no. I don't want to say that I'm not in a rush to move out, because I'm not in the space where my parents are like pushing me out the house. Like, that's not the case. So I'm in a really good spot where this process isn't rushed. And I'm taking my time, but I'm also pacing myself. The goal is to move out before the end of the year. That's it. And wherever I move and when I move, it's going to be on God's time, and it's going to be in the space that He has chosen for me. Whether it's a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, it's going to be more than enough space for everything that I need. So yes, it's my first apartment, but it's my first and last apartment. And again, I'm not just settling for anything just because. So I got that call. Like I said, I applied. The apartment that she showed me was very small. Y'all can move into that apartment, but that apartment was small as I don't know what. I said, no, this ain't going to cut it. So she showed me the apartment that they originally showed me back in January. I said, yeah, this is what I want. And if it's anything bigger, I want that too. So she made note that that is the specific square footage that I wanted. And I should have told her to make note that I also wanted the 800. I would be interested in the 800 or some odd square foot apartment as well. So that's that. So excited for that. At this point, when I reapplied on Thursday, she mentioned like, oh, well, you should know if you're qualified by Monday. Today's Tuesday, July 1st. I haven't heard back from them. So if I don't hear back from them before tomorrow, then I'm going to just give them a call tomorrow and see like what's going on. So y'all pray that I'm approved and I'm qualified and everything works out the way that it's supposed to. So that's that, y'all. And last but not least, as far as how June ended, 2 things. That Thursday, so this is all last week. That Thursday, I went to Proverbs and Pajamas. So, the prayer group that I mentioned I was fasting with is called Favor 365, and Raven is the woman who runs and is in charge of Favor 365. So she's originally from Baltimore, but she now lives in Dallas, and she is on a tour called Proverbs and Pajamas. It's an intimate tour where she prophesies, how can I put it? She prophesies over the individuals that attend Proverbs and pajamas, and just talks about whatever they need clarity with, whether it be their business, whether it be their personal life, whether it be what they're working on. And 9 times out of 10, she knows all of us already. We've already had conversations, private conversations. We've already put prayer requests and all of that into the GroupMe group chat. So she already has an idea of what everybody is wanting to get clarity on. And at the beginning of Proverbs in Pajamas, she asked us, what we needed prayer about. So I got real specific about the apartment, about my business, about my engagement, about all the things. So that was a really, really good time. And I'm glad she came to Baltimore because I honestly was not trying to drive nowhere else, to be completely honest with y'all. So she came to Baltimore, right in Towson. And it was 4 of us. It was Raven and then 3 of us. So 2 other women and me. One of them I knew, the other one I had never met before, but it was a really good group. I recorded my entire, session with her and the women, and I can't wait to re-listen to it. I keep forgetting that I have it, so I need to re-listen to it again, and I'm just excited to see what July looks like and to continue just having faith that everything that I am praying about currently and everything that I fasted for will come to light. And that leads me to the fast. So like I said, we did a 40-day fast that started May 22nd and ended last night, which was yesterday. Ended yesterday, which was June 30th. So I started on the 25th. So I kind of technically did a 35-day fast. And honestly, I would say I started and stopped as well. So I had stopped for 2 days when I was in Virginia and started back up again after Virginia. I also kind of altered my fasting schedule to 2 of those days as well. And I ended up fasting from the time I woke up to 12 p.m. on 2 of those Saturdays, because I knew that, not to say it wasn't going to work out on those days, but it just was a lot going on. And yeah, so the fast was cool. It definitely was challenging. I'm not going to lie. And we do fast like this all the time. Like we did a 40-day fast last year. So it's not like I'm not used to fasting. We also fast every Wednesday outside of the 40-day fast. So because the 40-day fast was happening, we were only focusing on that. But now that it's over, we typically fast every Wednesday, and that's called Wealth Warfare Wednesdays. And then on the last 5 days of every month, we do a 5-day fast. And that's when we fast from when we wake up to 12 p.m., we dry fast. We do that on Wealth Warfare Wednesday, and then we do the same thing on the 5-day fast at the end of every month. Now, for the 40-day fast, slightly different. So the 40-day fast, we actually fast from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So we're able to eat all day, do whatever we want all day until 6 p.m. And after 6 p.m., we only can drink water. So what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for going back to my regular eating schedule for dinner. Like, I want to eat dinner. Of course, I was eating dinner, but I was eating dinner at 5 o'clock. So, and I had to hurry up and eat before 6 o'clock. So sometimes it was times where I ate lunch. I ate a late lunch and I didn't get a chance to eat until 4 o'clock. And by the time 5:30 came around, I wasn't hungry. So ate at 4 o'clock, finished up at 4:15, and didn't eat until the next day. So it's crazy. It's not crazy, but it's just like, wow. So we did that. We were also fasting from sweets. So the sweets really isn't like super duper hard for me. Like I like sweets, but I'm not like a sweets girl. Now I will say a couple of times I was tempted to grab some candy, but then I had to remind myself like, oh, that's sweets. Like I can't. So, but overall it was cool. Like as you can see during that fast, a lot of great things happened in June. Like I said, we did start the fast, May 22nd, but I started May 26th for 5 days. Okay, so 35 days. So anything special happened at the end of May that I may have missed? Nothing in particular. I'm sure a lot of great things happened, but nothing in particular that I could point out happened at the end of May. aside from going to Anisha's wedding. But other than that, the fast was great. It was definitely challenging. It wasn't easy. And for those of you who may be interested in fasting or wondering if fasting is something that you should be doing, I think everybody should be fasting, to be honest. If you are a believer, if you are a Christian, even if you're not, and you're wanting to learn more about God, wanting to grow your relationship with God, wanting to get clarity on something, whether it be your business, whether it be your personal life, a big decision, I think it's extremely important to fast. Prayer and fasting is what we do a lot of. I will say the one thing that I started doing more of since I've been in Favor 365, well, Increase 365 now, Favor 365, I've been praying a lot more. So every morning I wake up, as soon as I open my eyes, I'm praying. I have 2 prayer alarms, one set for 12:30, one set for 5:30 every single day. I'm praying. And it's like, oh, what are you praying about? Well, there's so much to pray about. It's a simple thank you. It's a simple thank you for getting me through the day. Thank you for waking me up this morning. Praying for whatever it is that I'm asking God to give me clarity on, whether it be my business, whether it be decisions as far as the apartment, and just reading my Bible more, reading the word more. With the fasting, Raven was actually hosting live sessions every day during the week. So for about 30 minutes to an hour, we would hop on a call and just hear her testimony. We would hear a word that she had to share that God, gave her for us. It was just a lot of great things. A lot of great favor happened. Favor is when just good things happen. And it's like, I don't want to say it's all supernatural, but you know what favor is. Like when you favor someone, like God favors us all. So with Favor 365 and the fasting, like there's always some type of favor happening in all of our lives. And it's just a matter of opening your eyes and like seeing that favor or understanding that it's happening. So yeah, this fast was challenging. Fasts aren't supposed to be convenient. So it's not like, oh, that day I can't fast because I'm going to happy hour. Like, no. No, fasting is not supposed to be convenient at all. There are some days you may feel like you have to switch up your fasting schedule, like I did, to make it make more sense so that you could still fast but still do all the things that you had planned, or you don't switch it up at all and just pray to God that he gets you through, which he always does. But fasting isn't supposed to be convenient. You don't just supposed to fast because, oh, I got free time, I'm gonna just fast. Like, no, fasting is supposed to be challenging. When it gets hard, when it feels like, oh, I'm hungry, like I can't make it through, you pray. You read your word, and that strengthens you. So there were plenty of times where my stomach was growling. I'm like, I don't know. But I would drink my water. I would pray. I would do what I need to do, listen to a sermon, listen to maybe a call that I missed, and go to sleep. To be honest, I was going to sleep a lot earlier than my normal sleep schedule. I was also doing a lot of working out too. So yeah. As far as July and what I had planned, I was just talking on a live segment on LinkedIn. I absolutely have nothing planned, and I'm not mad at that. I'm going to continue to be consistent on YouTube, posting 2 videos a week. I'm going to continue going live twice a week. So once on YouTube, once on LinkedIn. With that, I started with my LinkedIn lives. I started turning those into LinkedIn articles and posting that once a week as well. And then using those same topics and turning them into Substack posts and blog posts and sharing that on my website and my Substack profile. So continuing to do that, creating content as well. A brand sent me shoes. Shout out to Ally Shoes. It's a really, really cool women-owned brand. For women, they create very comfortable heels that are great for women who may have wider feet, who may have larger feet, who may have bunions, different challenges with their feet, and they create comfortable heels for them. So they actually reached out to me. I just posted my first post yesterday. So I'll actually be working on a blog post, a Substack post, and a LinkedIn article about all of that. I took some photos of the shoes. They're actually really cute. I'm gonna pop some pictures in here. And I plan on styling them. That's my next project. I'm gonna style those shoes as well. So that is a brand that reached out to me that sent me a pair of free shoes, which I'm thankful for. I basically picked out the shoes, and it was a lot with that whole experience, but finally got the shoes. They fit perfectly, and now it's just styling them and marketing and promoting them. I'm gonna leave my special link for a discount in the description box, but it's Kristen10 if y'all want to check out Ally shoes and see, if there's a pair that aligns with your style. You should definitely check them out. That's basically it, y'all. So this is the first episode of this series, the Faith Talk series. I'm excited to do another one on what's next month? August 1st. So we'll see. We will see how this goes. If y'all have any questions about fasting or anything, definitely don't hesitate to comment below. And let me know your thoughts on this series and if there's anything specific y'all like me to cover. But it's really just for me to share with y'all what's been going on, what's been happening, sharing my faith. Oh, and last but not least, if there are any prayer requests that y'all have, leave them in the comments. I will pray for y'all. So yeah, that's about it. That wraps this segment up. Hopefully this was no longer than 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.